Well, let's review what we've said so far about the moods. There are 6 moods. The indicative mood makes a statement. The imperative mood issues a command or an exhortation or makes a plea, an entreaty. The subjunctive mood, which is difficult to give a one-line what it does. It's rather complex. We saw that there are 6 major functions for the subjunctive mood. But basically, the subjunctive has to do with action which is potential. And then the optative mood, which is the mood of possibility, or the mood of a strong wish, as in a prayer wish. And then the participle, which is a verbal adjective, and the infinitive, which is a verbal noun. The 4th kind of information that a verb gives us is the person. And the 5th kind is the number. We've already talked about this, that the first singular is I, the second singular is you, the third singular is he, she, or it. The first plural is we, the second plural you, and the third plural they. So we see that there are 5 basic kinds of information that a verb can give us. The aspect, the voice, the mood, the person, and the number. One more thing about aspect. Often you'll hear the word tense used instead of the word aspect. Now, we must not confuse is the way the word tense is used in English. In English, when we say the tense of a verb, we're generally referring to the time of the action of the verb. But this is not always the case in Greek. In Greek, when we use the word tense, we are referring to the aspect or the kind of action. So let's review again. 5 bits of information that a verb can convey: aspect, or if we wish, we could use the word tense, voice, mood, person, and number. If you'll look on page 3-8 of your grammar, you will see these 5 bits of information about a verb graphically displayed for you: tense, voice, mood, person, and number. Notice that there are 6 tenses: the present, imperfect, perfect, pluperfect, future, and the aorist. All of those tenses we have heard before in English, except for the last one, the aorist. The voice, we've already mentioned that there is an active voice, middle voice, and a voice. Mood, indicative mood, imperative, subjunctive, optative, infinitive, and participle. Person, first person, second person, and third person, and the number, singular or plural. Now turn to page 3-9, and we see listed here the different aspects: continuation, completion, and indefiniteness, and then showing us which tenses most often express these kinds of action. The tenses which most often express continuation are the present and the imperfect tenses. The tenses which most often express completion are the perfect and the pluperfect tenses. The tenses which most often express indefiniteness are the aorist and the future tense. But something we want to make sure that we understand is that this representation is what most often occurs. There will always be exceptions, and remember that context is what gives anything meaning. Now turn to page 3-10, and we see our 6 moods represented. the tenses which are used in each one of those moods. In the indicative mood, we find all 6 tenses used: the present, the perfect, the future, imperfect, pluperfect, and aorist. In the imperative and in the subjunctive moods, we find only 2 tenses, the present tense and the aorist. In the optative mood, we have the present, perfect, future, and aorist tenses. And in the participle and in the infinitive, we have the present, perfect, future, and aorist tenses.